Do it anyway, whatever it is, because we second guess things. And when we second guess, it doesn't normally turn out the way it should, at least from my experience. So if your gut or intuition is to do X, do it.
Yeah.
Don't think about, well, what if such and such or this person? No, it's all about you. Do it anyway for you.
Welcome to the Uplift Her Leadership Series, a segment on the Self-Care Goddess podcast, a special space where holistic self-care meets high performance and the feminine leads with grace, power, and purpose. This podcast is your pause in a productivity-driven world, a space to reset, regulate, and reconnect with feminine wisdom and visionary leadership. I'm your host, Rita, Savoia, holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. Each week, you'll hear soul-expanding stories and thought-provoking conversations with women leaders, founders, and change makers who are redefining success and what it means to lead with heart. These are the conversations we need to create the future we desire, rooted in self-care, integrity, and soul-aligned leadership. Breathe in your power. Breathe out the overwhelm. And let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self-Care Goddess podcast with a special Uplifter Leadership Series. Before I introduce my beautiful guest, let's get into coherence. As you know, we walk the talk on this podcast, so I invite you to lower your gaze or even close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And just notice your breath flowing in and out of your body at whatever cadence or speed. No need to manipulate the breath. Just notice it. Giving yourself these few minutes to just be. By following the inhales, flowing in from the nose, and then the exhales flowing out of your nose. I invite you now to just allow the exhales to soften or open up any areas of your body that you might be feeling some maybe tension, some stiffness, some discomfort. Just allowing those exhales to relax those areas of your body you've just identified. As you continue these deep inhales and exhales, let's channel them now to the area of the heart. Allowing each inhale to open your heart like a flower. And then exhaling anything that's still sort of lingering, any discomfort, any tension, by utilizing the power of this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive. As you continue these heart-focused breaths, I invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today, living or past. Visualize this person as if they were right here in front of you, and I invite you to send them all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for being there for you, especially when you needed them most. And in this space of immense gratitude for this person, let's turn that love, gratitude, and appreciation towards ourselves for being here, taking the time out of your busy day to be here. Take some moments for yourself. On your next inhale, slowly flutter your eyes open. Come back to us. These are always nice to ground us and just tune out for just a few minutes. the outer world. Thank you for participating in that quick coherence technique from the Heart Math Institute. So welcome to another episode of the Uplifter, a special leadership segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast, where high-performing women share their wisdom, lessons, and stories to inspire everyone, especially the next generation of leaders. So today's guest is on a mission to help you find your digital swagger. Because let's face it, in today's world, your online presence matters. Meet Tamika Brunetti, founder of Ascent Social Capital, LinkedIn top 3 sales navigator community expert, certified PMP, and MBA powerhouse. Whether you're in sales, marketing, recruiting, or consulting, Tamika has probably trained someone just like you, helping them unlock the true power of LinkedIn and Sales Navigator to stand out and open doors. She's all about helping professionals and companies define their digital voice, boost credibility, and build a brand that actually reflects who they are. But beyond the LinkedIn magic, Tamika is also a Lego loving, sloth collecting, buttercream cupcake connoisseur, because even digital experts need a little frosting fueled joy in their lives. And if her life had a theme song, it would be Wouldn't He Do It? Remix by Lauren Hawthorne, which tells you everything you need to know about her confidence, faith, and energy. Tamika, welcome to the show. I am so excited to dive into your story and your swagger. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you. I loved your introduction. Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you. So tell us a little more about your personal journey and what has influenced the mission that you're on today.
Well, my personal journey started in 2018, I would say. I quit a very stable job after 13 years with nothing lined up. And when I quit, it was a real moment when it came to who am I? Because I had always been associated to the organization that I worked with. You know, you get so entrenched in it that the organization or a company becomes your identity. So most people end up losing their identity. So when I quit, it's like, who is Tamika if she doesn't have this big company name behind her? And so that really set me on this journey of trying to really taking that introvertedness that I'm an extreme introvert, but taking that digital introvertedness and making myself much more visible and just using my voice, my point of view, and allowing people the opportunity to get to know me without, formal communications and things of that. Yeah, that pivotal moment in my career journey. It's just like, okay, Tamika, time to show up.
That is impressive. So tell me, was there anything that led up to that point for you to say enough is enough? Or how did that happen? Yeah. Were there little events that sort of you're like, that's it. The pain now is too much, too great to ignore. And that's why, I need this change. Like what happened there?
Oh my goodness. So it was years of compounding events, right? And most times you always try to just push it to the side. Things will work out, right? And for the most part, I would say I experienced 12 incredible years. That last year was not good. It's like, you have your ups and your downs, but this down was just, I couldn't get out of it. But then I started reflecting and noticing that it wasn't me, it was my surroundings. The type of people I was around had changed. So you go from working with a very high performing community feeling team, right? That felt like had your back, you had their back, and you were just gelling, to being on another team that just could care less if you are alive or not. I hate to say, and I ended up having to take some time off. And when I called the leader of my engagement to let them know, the first thing they said was, wow, 3 times. And then they said, I have to find someone to replace you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
How can I help? There was no compassion. There was no that's when I truly felt like a widget.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, yes,
right.
Yes. During that time, I sought the assistance of therapists, and my therapist made it real for me because over this year, I was internalizing so much that it was causing health issues and I wasn't paying attention to it. I just assumed, okay, maybe it was too many cupcakes, but it was the stress. And when we internalize stress, it comes up in all kinds of forms. And so I remember being in a session with her and she said, what are you going to do when you end up in the hospital? And when she said it like that, she was just very to the point. I'm like, oh, okay, this is real. And I made the decision right then and there to let it go.
Right.
Find something else. Find something that brings me joy.
Yeah.
People who accept me for who I am and accept people who value my values.
Yes.
Most important.
Yes. I love that. And I've had several conversations with amazing women as well. And this value, this notion of values comes up quite a bit. And it is like a compass, isn't it? Once you know what your values are, it is so guiding. It is so easy to just say, no, this isn't for me because it's not aligned with my values.
Yeah. So true. And the moment that became real to me, it's like, okay, now I need to find my people.
So what was that process like? How did you know what to do? And maybe maybe we could talk a little bit more about what were those feelings? Like, were you feeling excited? Was there fear? Was there doubt? Like, tell me a little bit more about that as you're starting to find your people and embark on this new career and journey.
Yeah. So one thing about well-known companies, they will, I don't want to say brainwash, but they impart upon you the fact that you're a rock star, right? And so when you leave, any and everybody's going to be jumping to hire you, right? So I felt like, okay, I am going to take this time to recharge. In 3 months, I'll have my next opportunity. 2 years. I mean, 2 years to find my next opportunity, which is where this song, Won't He Do It, came to life, because throughout those 2 years, we didn't want for anything. I trusted on my faith, and we were provided for the entire time, didn't skip a beat. But, all the interviews and things that I went on, there was always something at the final round that just made that opportunity go away. For one, I was the final candidate and they got a new chief marketing officer, and the chief marketing officer decided to do away with that role. And then like 2 months later, they had a big layoff. So that was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
So things like that kept happening until I got an opportunity to work for this one company. And that's where the love and the digital swagger really blossomed. They wanted me to evangelize LinkedIn Sales Navigator solution. And I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. Well, I can evangelize. So it's like taking my, the energy and the passion I have for Legos and things like that and infusing that into my work was the way that I started to, gain this traction with the evangelism, I guess. So yeah, that was probably, that was it.
So what would you say your driving force was? Because I'm sure there were times when you're like, oh, is this the right thing to do? Am I on the right path? Like, what was that driving force that kept you on? And yes, values for sure is part of it as well. But was there something else that kept you on your path when the doubts did come in?
I would say it was values, faith, and my support system. A strong support system will get you through anything. Yeah. My husband, parents, my BFFs, they got me through.
True. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And your own conviction too that this has to work, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you do affirmations, Tamika, but I'm really digging into them. I'm actually writing an ebook as well, but I'm making them funny. I'm adding a little humor to it because that's just who I am. So I put a little twist to it. But I found, and just going back to those opportunities that didn't come through for you, it's so true. Like, oh, and this is a Louise Hay. It's on my affirmation that out of every opportunity or every situation, only good will come to me. And it's really helped me to realize that, hey, that wasn't meant for me, and it's okay. Let it go.
Yes.
Because something else, it's making room for something else to grow and to actually it's going to be part of my journey. So that wasn't part of my journey. So now when, let's say, I don't know, I don't get contracts or just something doesn't turn out, it's just like, it wasn't meant to be. Even in terms of like anything, even though the trivial little things, okay, it's not going to happen today. It'll happen another day. It's just like, you don't get that nervous system hyped up and stressed out because it wasn't meant for you. And it's quite transformative if you get into that. And it started with like an affirmation, and now it's like the way I live my life, which is pretty cool, right?
Well, I totally agree with that, because you think about the situation I just shared,
right.
And even though I was devastated in the moment, finding, getting the news 2 months later of what was happening because they were going through restructuring.
Right. Yeah.
That helped me, or affirmed to me, that I am worthy of great opportunities, but that was a redirection towards where I needed to be.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the lesson I learned from that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say that the lesson I learned from that is that every closed door is a redirection.
I love that. That is awesome. So there's a saying in Spanish: "Cuando se cierra una ventana, se abre una puerta." So cuando cierra una puerta. When a door closes, a window opens. Isn't that cool?
A big window too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's all along these lines, right? That, everything always happens. Oh, that's another one. Everything always happens for my highest good. So I love that redirection. I love that. That's really cool. So, I mean, this could be that pivotal moment for you, but was there a very challenging moment in your career that you overcame, and how did you do that? So is there another one, or would you say this one was a pretty big one for you?
I would say this one was a pretty big one for me, because you think about it, you start your career at a big company and you really just become ingrained into everything that they do, they stand for, and that just becomes a part of your life. And because of that job, lots of things, I missed out on a lot of things. Because I started out in tax. And so today is actually April the 15th. So US taxes are due. Dual taxes are due today. And so I missed out on birthdays. I missed out on, what do you call it? Godparent ceremonies. I missed out on weddings. I missed out on all kinds of things. So my circle has been shifted to like an oval, and it's much smaller than it used to be, because I let work take the lead. And if I wouldn't have, things would be, I think, markedly different. And not I don't know if it's good or bad, but I would definitely be on a different trajectory.
Yeah.
And so that experience was definitely one that I had to deal with on a mental side of things, because for one, it's working through leaving all that behind, leaving your golden handcuffs, because large companies will come with wonderful packages, right? Golden handcuffs. It gets to a point where it seems like you're paying, like you're working to pay for your insurance to deal with the stress that they've caused you.
Yeah.
you know, and so getting through that, I think that was my biggest challenge. And then just trying to get back to myself, because I started out my, adult life I was playing college basketball. And when you're an athlete, you're very confident and, you do things at a certain level. And then you get in a situation where that just gets ticked away. And yeah, it's hard to realize that you have let yourself succumb to toxicity in a way that changes who you are and how you present yourself. And so when I got out of that and found the opportunity to evangelize sales navigator, I remember telling my boss that the genie's been let out of the bottle and she can't go back in. Because the way that I'm talking to you and laughing with you, although I laughed and I giggled and I had a good time where I worked, I don't think it was authentically me. I just laughed because they said something funny. I need to laugh because I'm waiting on that promotion.
Yeah.
And that's now it's stressful. And like now if it's funny, it's funny. If it ain't,
walk away.
Walk away.
Well, that's something. Thank you so much, because I think you're expressing what a lot of high performing women have been telling me. And you're just expressing it. You're just putting it out there that, you know what, it's not all that glitters is gold. And I know we keep using the phrases that are very popular, but hey, they're timeless because they're spot on. So thank you for that vulnerability and sharing that on this series, because maybe someone needs to hear this, and it'll invite them to consider, maybe there's something better out there for me. Maybe this isn't the life that I'm supposed to live, even after 12 years, right? That you were there, which, I'm sure you're very close on the succession plan to become, one of the highest positions there. You decided to turn around or do something different. So kudos to you. Kudos. Yeah, seriously.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you.
I had to put that in there because that takes courage, takes guts. And whether it was the physical pain that you were in, or which actually leads me to my other question. Did you feel burnout? I'm curious. And if you did, like, what were the warning signs that maybe we can all sort of watch out for?
The warning signs that I experienced was a sudden onset of high blood pressure.
Right.
It wasn't gradual.
Yeah. So you knew something was up. Yeah.
Because I just had these, I don't know, I felt off. And then I went and saw my primary care physician on an off cycle, just, hey, I need to come see you.
Yeah.
Things just don't feel right. And, they confirmed my feelings. Wow. And I was just dealing with a lot of unusual body aches. And a lot of it's from sitting, but and traveling so much. But that lifestyle was just bottling up stress and deadlines and unreasonable deadlines all throughout the body. And these unreasonable deadlines were just arbitrary. There was no rhyme or reason to them. It was just, if a client... Yes, because when you send them what they requested and it was a fire drill, and then they don't look at it for a week, was it really a fire drill? Did I really need to work Saturday and Sunday all day to get that for you? Yeah. So
yeah, not cool. So how did you overcome this burnout? Was it to leave and then it subsided, the blood pressure?
Yeah, it took some work, but leaving and then getting back to Tamika. Yeah. And so when I say that, it's, as a kid and through high school and college, something that I did was I always volunteered. And even at the company, I was a big into their volunteer program. And so I got back into that, which was refreshing. And I started meeting people outside of work to give me, that started to give me that diversity that I needed, diversity of thought that I needed to be around, and experiences. And so I would say just putting myself back into the game, if you will, of being myself and really focusing on my home life, I think is what helped me overcome that.
Yeah.
I have an amazing, amazing husband, very supportive. And yeah, he's been a champion throughout this whole thing.
Oh, shout out to your hubby. Whoop, whoop. Chris, shout out. Thank you for being awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah. So in terms of, and I love how you say going back to what you used to love to do. How old were you when you were volunteering? When you first started? Yeah. Because there's oftentimes when we want to find our purpose, people are like, okay, yes, do a values exercise. But there is a literature out there that actually tells us, what did you like to do as a child? What like really lit you up when you were growing up? And that's actually what your purpose should be as an adult. Find a way to make maybe money from that, or if it's your retirement gig, whatever it is, but so that because that was true. That was you. You were at your like purest, at your essence, no socialization or very little of it. And so find out what you used to do as a child. And I think the age is like anywhere between 5 and like 12 or something. That, yeah. And then that can really align with what you want to do in your adulthood, right? When do they tell us that? Never. They're like, they put us into these like structured ways to go to school and do all of that. And oftentimes we're just not happy. We're pleasing other people, whether it's our parents or society tells us to do, So I'm just so happy that you did it. When you did it, it's never too late. It is never too late. If it's one message we want to get across today, but just do it. Yeah, for sure. So would you say as a high performing woman, what has been sort of the biggest internal struggle that you faced on your journey?
My biggest internal struggle is expressing my point of view in using my voice. And I do believe a lot of that was from everything goes back to a certain time period where if you're the most junior person in the room, no one wants to hear from you. They want you to take notes. But you have thoughts, you have ideas, you have solutions that would either, accelerate a process, resolve a situation, but no one wants to hear it because you are junior. And I think that behavior or that, being in that type of environment has hindered me over the years of wanting to express my feelings and share my point of view. That could have accelerated my career, to whole new heights. But that has been a struggle for years. And even though I'm much more aware of it, it's still a struggle that I have to work on every day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, the first step, as we were talking offline, to any development is that awareness. So really cultivating that self-awareness, and then we can definitely break that down and unpack that through coaching, sessions and talk therapy, breathwork, coaching sessions, whatever it is. I'm wondering, was there one specific person, or was it just the way the organization worked? Was it more one person or a group, or was it more the organization?
It's not the whole organization. There were a couple of people along the way.
Okay.
And it was more of how they did it versus what they said.
Doing.
And I'll give you an example. There was one, I was in a meeting with, I think was the person, the senior manager, and I was a senior. And then our like support person on the team. And I asked for help. I said, is there any way you could help me, or we could find someone else who can join the team and can help take on some of these other things because of whatever. And that person, the senior manager, was basically, for one, dismissive, but number two, yelled at me in a way and said that I'm the leader of this team. You're here to help me. We don't need any, I mean, basically was belittling me in front of another person. Oh. And it was just one of those moments where I was so caught off guard. Mm-hmm. And I just remember saying something to the effect of, okay, well, I want to discuss this with our executive director, because the reason why I need all this help is because the executive director, who is your boss, is giving me all this other work. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I'll ask the executive director to help me prioritize, mm-hmm. because you're not helping me prioritize.
Right. Right.
And then that was reflected in my performance review because I spoke up. So when things are reflected in your performance review, becomes part of your record, it's like, okay, well, I ain't gonna say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 And then that gets reflected as well into your earning potential, right? Because then you get passed mm-hmm. for opportunities and so forth. So, wow.
And you always hear at work, ask for help. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Yeah. When you ask for it, you get shut down and made to look like you're incompetent or lazy, or it's like, how can you be lazy when you spend all your waking hours in the office? This was pre-COVID, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I don't get it.
So would you recommend someone to embark on this journey?
What do you mean when you say
basically work for a big company? Like, would you do it again?
Would I do it again?
Because you said there are still good times and you've learned a lot. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation if you didn't experience these things. You wouldn't have these stories. So would you do it again if you had the opportunity? Or would you switch earlier?
No, I would do it again. And I say that because, like you said, certain individuals sprinkled throughout. It's not everybody. And I will say this was the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, that made me decide to move from tax into the consulting practice. Uh-huh. If you work for a larger company, there are opportunities to move around.
Yes.
Right. Without, totally disrupting your life.
Yeah. And that's a good tip, Tamika. That's a really good tip as well, because it's not as bold. There's not so much uncertainty behind it, or ambiguity behind that. So I love that, because if anyone, again, is listening or watching this and you're like, oh, some of the stuff that Tamika's saying is really resonating, you don't have to make that switch. You can do it within a larger company, which has the advantages of having these different departments go into. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I would also say, in addition to that, that's where the importance of having a sponsor comes into play. You could have a million mentors.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But when you have a sponsor and a sponsor who sought you out, that's when it's easier to make that move, because then they're putting their, I guess you can say, street cred on the line.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the things that I learned out of that inexperience was sometimes taking a step backward will propel you forward multiple times.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I was at a certain level in tax. And then when I went over to the consulting side, I took a step back in, title. They didn't mess with my pay. I'm like, you can call me whatever you want, just don't mess with my paycheck. Right? I don't care what you call me. Within reason.
Yeah.
And because of that move, I was able to leapfrog over where I was in that other practice. In a very short time frame.
I love that. And that is, taking the ego out of the situation, right? Or just being humble about what is happening, that, you're switching departments, you have to learn, you have to, you're the newbie there. And it's like you said, it's okay to step back and learn, and then it propelled you forward. Wow. That's really good. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
That
It
is something I totally forgot about, like the corporate world, and the opportunities that it has.
Well, with that, I was able to just do my job as opposed to, managing people and things of that nature. I was able to, being in a new role, a new department, learning something completely different from what I had been doing for like 7 years, and just absorbing and just really educating myself. I think that allowed me to really just, like I said, leapfrog over to, a couple of roles.
Right.
Before I decided to leave. Yeah.
The company itself had a sponsorship program. It was a formal or was it informal?
This was informal. And
okay, so
the way this relationship came about was because of my volunteering.
I love that
person who I just adore and have adored since the first time I like saw her.
Okay, I was going to ask you, is it a male or female? So it's interesting. Okay.
It's a female, but I had two sponsors, a female and a male. They were both very senior. Both of them, I built these relationships because of volunteering. They would see me out at events because they were there as well. And it just became these organic relationships.
Right.
And so whenever other opportunities would come up, whether it was to go to board meetings with them or to represent them at events, because they were either double or triple booked, I got those opportunities. And I just remember that lots of people were, I don't want to say they were jealous, but they asked lots of questions about, well, how come you get to go to that? Well, how do you know them? Because I say hello.
Yeah.
I talk to them in the elevator.
Right.
I treat them like they're just a regular person.
Because they are at the end of the day, right?
Right.
I love that, Tamika, like that sequencing of events. So you started doing what really like is authentically you. So it's not like you were forcing the volunteer stuff, right? Like it was you wanted to do this and you did it for your own mental health and sanity and, just feel like you, Tamika, again. And then all of these other opportunities came from it. How great is that when you really tap into your authentic self? I just love that, right? The universe always gives you what your highest good deserves. And that it's because you're aligned to your values, you're authentic to what you really wanted to do. And you would just, and you took the opportunities though, as well, because you could have easily not been as close to these sponsors or maybe said no to those opportunities when they asked you to represent them, right? So it's also you taking that in as well and taking those opportunities. So it all comes together. So when people say that they're lucky, I'm like, no, there is no such thing as luck. Like all of those things, you were the main star. You were the rock star that took on the opportunities and then actually performed. So I really do feel like people create their own luck, but being authentic just opens you up more to these opportunities, right? Because you naturally want to talk to them on the elevator, right? It's not, again, you're not forcing this to happen. Amazing. Wow. Really.
With the female sponsor, the conversations in the elevator weren't about your next client or this particular thing. It was never business. It was always, where'd you get that jacket? Because that's cute. I shop at the shop where you shop.
Because we're human at the end of the day, right? And we're just going to relate better. And again, it wasn't forced. You weren't faking it. You weren't asking the question. You were genuinely interested in where she got the jacket, right?
And I was surprised most of the time that it wasn't somewhere that I thought was just out of my, my range.
Right.
It's just, it's a way that you carry yourself. So you can buy something at, I don't know, at Ross and it's on the clearance of the clearance. But if you carry yourself, self-confident, you stand tall, you can make it look as expensive as if it came from Neiman Marcus. So it's all about that self-confidence and how you show up as yourself.
Yeah. And why do you think it's, what needs to happen for us to really tap into or lean into that authentic self? You know, is it experience? Is it these like struggles, these challenges, or can we just be, that's it, we're born with it and we kind of just we're strutting our stuff at like 3 years old? Is it nature or nurture? What's your take on that?
Self-awareness of what your natural disposition is.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, my natural disposition is a sunny one.
No, I love that. Yes.
My parents, my mom is, I mean, she's just a bright light. And my dad has always been super supportive. Stern, but supportive, right? Like he was the structure. And mama was mama. Just saying it. She's still mama.
Yeah, yeah.
And like my husband one day actually said, I wish I could wake up as happy as you do every day.
It's beautiful.
And I was just like, why not?
Yeah.
Because
it's a choice.
It is a choice. I could be fighting depression, anxiety, or whatever, but the one thing I can control is my mood. And so, I'm gonna smile if I feel like smiling. Kind of talked about this earlier, but like in a meeting, if someone says something has like a funny undertone or something to it, I'm gonna giggle. That's just what it is. And I'm human. I could be, I used to be very robotic with it. Like, okay, I'll laugh later. But in the moment, I'm present. I'm in the moment. I'm going to let that laugh come out.
Yeah.
It won't be loud or disruptive, but and there was one time I was at the airport. I'll never forget this. I was just standing there waiting to board. And this gentleman came up to me and he said, what are you thinking about? I was like, why are you asking me that? He's like, because you have this grin on your face, like just standing here. Who knows what I was thinking about?
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm just standing there with a smile on my face, and people think that because you smile, you're lesser than, I feel like, or less than. You got to be serious all the time. No, smiling is good for you. Laughter is good for you. Joy is something everybody needs to experience.
Yeah, it's their birthright for sure. I love that. And it's a nice little segue into my next question that has to do with almost like a theme that's sort of weaving into these conversations, which I had no idea about. And that's why I love this. It's about masculine and feminine energies and how we as high performing women it really depends on the industry as well. But for the most part, and, I'll just give you some background with me. When I was living in Dubai and running a consulting business, I had to embody more or embrace more my masculine energy and just even the way I dressed. As you mentioned, the seriousness. Oh my gosh, Tamika, I used to wink all the time. I don't do it as much now because of that experience, but I was always like, yeah. Oh yeah, you got this. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Right. And so I was told by my mentor there, he's like, Rita, you can't be doing that in the Middle East. Like you can't be doing that in business. You can't be doing that in general. I'm like, but why? For me, it's like, it's so, I don't know. It's just such a beautiful Italian gesture of yes. Okay, great agreement. So I really had to tone that down. I had to tone down the smiling. I had to tone down this like, really happy because I needed to be serious. I needed to be taken seriously and winning those projects and winning those clients. And I've had clients, when I went to them, they wouldn't speak to me. They'd speak to my associate who was a male. So I had to experience a lot of that. And then when I came back to Toronto and was helping my mom, nurturing her back to health, I really embodied more of my feminine energy. And I was like, oh, this feels so good, because being so much in my masculine just felt so unauthentic. And then balancing it more with the feminine, I was like, wow, this feels really good. So have you experienced that in your roles, or maybe the industry that you were in? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have definitely experienced that because, you got to be, business is a certain way, right? And that's, going through school, you just learn that this is how you do it. And nowhere in there is there anything light, right? And so one thing that I did learn as I started managing people and influential roles, like people would come up to me and say, I wish I could work for you.
Yeah.
And I'd say, why? And they're like, you're just so real. you're authentic, and there's compassion. So I'm a empath, if you will, and very sensitive to others' feelings. And complete strangers tend to tell me their life story. For whatever reason, people feel very confident and comfortable around me. I'll give you an example. I was at a client. I was in this particular client's office. We were talking about whatever it was. And she said, are they hiring where you work? Because I have a friend here who's in accounting that's looking for another opportunity. And I was like, well, I'd love to talk to her. And she's like, well, I'll call her down here. And so this person comes in and goes straight into telling me their situation about going through this messy divorce. And just, we never talked about jobs. She was just like she just needed to get it off her chest. And then, we exchanged contact information. She went on her way. And then when the door closed, the client that I was talking to, she's like, I've known her for 20 years, had no idea she was going through a divorce. She's like, you're welcome. But,
my work here is done.
Yeah,
exactly.
But, it's just this, and it's not something that I'm actively trying to do. I don't even know what it is about me, because I don't know. Maybe it's because I smile.
Going back to that, yeah, just very welcoming, warming smile. Yeah, and it's energy, right? I mean, we are energetic beings, and some of us can pick that up a lot quicker and a lot faster and just embrace it. And she felt so safe telling you her story because of the energy that you provided, right? Yes. Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that. So would you say that that's more of your feminine energy that you are naturally?
Yeah, just compassionate and caring for others.
For sure. So in your new role now, like you're able to more embody that and embrace it?
Yes.
And that's why you're probably smiling more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I bring Tamika to work every day.
Yeah.
She doesn't park in the parking garage. She goes to work with me every day.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so cool. So how do you balance, and if there even is such a thing as balancing your demands of leadership with your personal life? Like, how do you do it? Some tips, techniques?
Well, for me, it's all about creating boundaries and trying to stick to them. I can't say I stick to them, 100% of the time, but I try very hard. For example, I was on vacation the last week, and I said that I wasn't going to be on social media. I deleted or removed the apps from my phone so I wouldn't spend time on them. Like, you're on the beach. Why would you be scrolling for hours on hours? Right. Enjoy that blue sky. Right?
Yes.
So that was a boundary I set for myself. And I even put in my out of office that, out of office until X date, I'm on spring break, recharging, and we'll get back to you when I return. I didn't say if it's urgent, because let's be real.
Yeah.
It ain't urgent. If you are not carrying a vital organ in a cooler, seriously, if it's not life-saving or life-threatening, it is not urgent. And that's one of the lessons I learned working at that firm too.
Yeah, we don't work in the ER here, right? So nothing is just.
Although we play a doctor online sometimes. But no, that's where the boundaries is huge for me. Like setting a time that, if I say my day is done at 6, it is truly done at 6.
I need to get better
working on it. Yes. And so my she shed, this is where I spend all my time. So, this is where I build my Lego sets, and, I've got my books and do
the
some
she
of my other hobbies. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. It's like a man cave. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly what it is. But it's very Tamika. My bookshelf is color coordinated,
Oh, cool. Oh, wait, can you give us a little tour? Can the camera move or no? I don't care. But I kind of want to take a look at your she shed. Okay, so you got the planner.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got my travel bags.
Okay, what does that mean, the color codes? What are the pink books?
Oh, they're just pink. There's no rhyme. Okay. I mean, it's just aesthetically pleasing.
Okay, all the blue books. Oh, okay, I love it.
Don't ask me for a book and expect me to find that book like that.
Yeah.
Because they're in they're in order by color and shape or height.
Yeah.
So the tallest.
Right. And so what else is in this she shed?
Well, so it's kind of a disaster area. But the other wall is my Lego sets that I really love. And then I have a gallery wall, got my degrees and some pictures and like a memoriam to my Yorkies who have passed. Yeah. And I got a lot of planner stuff in here because I'm big into planners.
Yeah.
Big into planners. Oh, this is the command center. So it's color coordinated.
Okay.
I'm red. Business is purple.
Mm-hmm.
Husband is blue.
Mm-hmm.
Things we do together are green. And so when he comes in, and I've had this for, I don't know, 8 years. He comes in here, he's like, "Oh, so what are we doing this weekend?"
Look at the calendar.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not entertaining that.
Yes.
That's a boundary.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I like that. And that is a perfect way to answer that question on how do you balance it? Well, you prioritize, you plan, and you just make sure that you have those boundaries set. And it's interesting, no one's spoken about boundaries. You're the first one. So, and oftentimes, in my other podcast, boundaries comes up quite a bit. So I'm very happy you shared that with us. Thank you. And for taking us around your...
I would show more, but it is a disaster zone.
That's okay. I know you just came back from vacation. That's good. So going back to, again, about you and how you reset and recharge, what would you say? Maybe you can read some of the things on that calendar are things that you do for you, like self-care. Let's talk maybe 3 self-care rituals to help you to reset and recharge.
Okay, so they're not reflected on here because they're very easy to do. First and foremost, water. Gotta drink. I drink water probably 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. I throw in some lemonade or something just to mix it up. But the hydration levels, I can really notice when I'm dehydrated. And so I have to stay hydrated. Mm-hmm. So that's number 1. Number 2, the whole reason of having a she shed, alone time.
Yes.
Because I'm an introvert, I have to recharge. I have a couple of networking events tomorrow. I will be like depleted on Thursday just because I have to. It's not that I just being around new people just kind of is, I don't know. I don't know the right word, how to explain it. It's the anticipation. It's anticipating awkwardness. It is work.
Yes. And any work takes energy. Yeah. It's draining your energy. No, 100%. I feel this as well. And I'm not an introvert. I'm an extrovert, but I need that time to recharge. 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I interact with someone at these events, I'm fully committed to the conversation. I'm not, looking at my phone or, holding my phone. I put it in my pocket or in my bag or whatever. But that's the thing. It's like people, when you're interacting with me, I want it to be a memorable experience and a joyous experience. Like the Tamika experience is Tamika is here for you, not you and these other people. Now, if other people come into the conversation, yes, I'm going to be fully engaged with everybody. But if it's one-on-one, it's me and you. I'm locked in. And it surprises people because we'll be on calls later on, and I'll say something with respect to our first meeting or something they shared later on, and they're like, "I told you that? You remembered that? Why wouldn't I?" Yeah. I listened to you.
Exactly. Yes.
I am an active listener.
Yes, yeah, you're paying attention. Yes, yeah, for sure. That's exactly when people forget to park where they parked. 90% of it is not that your memory's going, oh, I'm getting old, my memory's going. No, because you weren't paying attention when you parked your car because you're probably distracted on your phone, whatever it is that you were doing. So if you make a conscious attempt to actually be present and know where you parked, 90% of the times you'll remember it. So yeah, I love that, being present.
Or take a picture of where you park. Because that's, you know, in some of the garages and stuff, they have like markers to let you know which section and stuff. Because even with that, especially like at airports, the DFW, the parking situation is horrendous. It's like remembering, oh gosh, which terminal did I? So
that's true. You can definitely use tech. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So is sleep.
Oh, you see that?
I am big on my sleep.
Okay. I thought you didn't get enough. I thought you didn't get enough sleep. I thought that was a face. Okay.
No.
Girl, yes, I love that. I call sleep sacred. It's one of my 6 pillars of self-care. And it's sacred. There is so much that happens when your body is resting. It's, you know, talking again about recharging, resetting. It happens when you sleep. Your brain literally has a lymphatic drainage system. So, you know, we have the lymphatic system where we detox naturally through different organs, especially the skin. That's why saunas are so good. But we have actually a lymphatic system that happens in the brain, and it literally like sorts out everything that happened, like cleans the garbage out, those thoughts. And that's why when you don't get good sleep, I mean, this isn't brain, you know, science, but well, that's a little of a pun because I'm about the brain. But this, like when you don't have enough sleep, you feel like shit. You feel like, oh my God, groggy, you can't think clearly. It's because it didn't go through that cleaning system at night. And it only does it at night because you need to be resting in order for that to kick in. So super important. I'm so happy. How many hours of sleep do you get?
Well, it depends. It could be anywhere from 7 to 10.
Girl, yes. We need, as women, by the way, I think I've said this so many times on this podcast, we need more hours than men. Like, physiologically, we definitely need to sleep more than men. And that's why I get so upset when my boyfriend can take 6 hours and he's like, and I'm just feeling, So I usually go to bed before him. Or like, so that I don't feel guilty. And I actually was telling someone else, Tamika, do you know that I have a lot of clients that have sleep divorce. They actually sleep in separate rooms because of this. Because, you know, if let's say you go to sleep earlier and then your partner comes into bed, of course he's going to wake you up, or they're going to wake you up, right? Like they're going to move around or whatever it is. Or if they snore. So I'm telling you, ladies, like, get your own system going, because sleep, and that's part of the reason why you're so happy. You're in a good mood. It regulates hormones, right? Like you got all, it regulates blood sugar, stress levels, cortisol. Like sleep is,
it's beautiful.
I know.
And it, you know,
there's some,
and I'm big on naps.
Yeah, cool.
Nice. On naps. Like, and I don't do those 20-minute. No, that just kind of makes me upset. I need to go to sleep. I need to experience some REM.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I change clothes. I get into the PJs. Get under the cover.
Wow.
For my naps.
So how many times do you nap a week, let's say?
Well, we try to get a nap in every day.
Tamika,
at least an hour. Well, and it would be, a lot of times it's my lunch break.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So that 1 hour I will get in the bed and bring the dogs and we just cuddle and go to sleep.
Nice. So when do you eat if you take Rita?
I'll eat while I'm working, like right before that or right after that.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So as a nutritionist, I would probably recommend eating away from the screen, right? And just even if it takes 20 minutes. So what, you took an hour and 20-minute lunch, flippity do, you know, in France, they're taking 4-hour lunches and they're still getting work done. You know, Italy, they take 3. So come on, we can do this, right? Like we're going back to the we're not ER surgeons here. So I think it's doable. Nice.
Okay,
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
know.
start taking an hour and a half lunch now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Like away from the screen and just really, again, being very mindful, being very present. So that you're allowing your digestive system to digest because if you are working while you're eating, then your brain, remember, can tell the difference between perceived stress and real stress. It'll kick those,
Hmm.
the same cascade of hormones that as if you were in danger, right? So let's say you get an email that upsets you, or you're working on something that's, upsetting, or, you wouldn't even maybe call it upset, but it's still stressful. It's still work. It's not like you're just staring at the blue sky in Hawaii. Come on, let's face it, right? You know,
Yeah.
your digestive system will, or your brain is not going to prioritize, really, it's your nervous system, it's not going to prioritize digesting the meal because it doesn't matter if you digest that food, it needs to keep you safe. And if your brain
Mm,
perceives stress, then your nervous system, it wants to keep you safe. So it's actually going to divert any of the energy that you would otherwise be digesting your food, assimilating it and absorbing it towards keeping you safe. So calming that nervous system. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I always
okay.
say the worst thing we can do is watch the 6 o'clock news at dinner. It's like, forget it. Like, yeah, you can't do that
No.
because your brain again will perceive you being watching that scene, whatever it is, if it's graphic, if it's violent, which oftentimes it's so horrible news. When do we have good news? And then the music that they play, don, 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 don. I'm like, can this get any worse? So please don't watch the 6 o'clock news while you're eating. But yeah.
You have you've connected some dots here. So I wore one of those rings to track, my heart rate
Yeah.
variability, my sleep, and all those things. And it also tracks your stress levels. And so looking back at it, it was showing that I was spending the majority of my day in stress.
Mm.
And it would accelerate in the evening before bed,
Mm.
which is where it should be going the other way,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so I narrowed it down and was able to pinpoint what was causing that stress to trend upward. My husband, he has his itinerary of shows that he watches every night, and a lot of them have violence. I mean, they're like FBI, Law and Order, those types of things, but they're violent, and some of them are gory, and those scenes stress me out. And I don't even have to watch it to get stressed. I can hear it.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I wear these like noise canceling.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, sometimes noise canceling, sometimes earplugs when I'm outside of the she shed. So I don't hear it. And when I started doing that, the stress subsided.
That's cool. I love that. Yeah. That's science for sure.
And I didn't know all the things that you were sharing, but it was more of what is wrong here? And just I have a planner so I can look at the things that, where the stress peak and say, okay, I was doing this. Yeah, I can see all the trends. And I figured out that those particular hours were when he was watching or when he watches whatever he's watching.
Interesting. Yeah, when I was, that's another thing too. It is so important what we watch or what we do before bed. And that's why most of us are having this horrible sleep. I mean, like besides the blue light that is literally limiting the melatonin production because the pineal gland thinks it's still daylight. So you're not triggering the pineal gland to produce melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. And then we take exogenous melatonin. Like our body is just like, what are you doing to me? Like, is it daylight? Is it nighttime? And then you're forcing this thing on me. Like we're really like messed up if you think about it. But we can totally bring this back to balance by doing things that are without screens before at night, calming yourself like a yin yoga or like stretching or just talking comedy. So if I do anything now, I watch comedy before bed. If I really want to unwind and want to be in front of a screen, comedy is really good because then it just puts you in that oxytocin, those endorphins, like put you in a really good feel good state. Doing a sauna, some breath work before evening as well is really recommended because I remember when I was watching Narcos, Tamika, I was dreaming. I was like one of the cartel's wives. Like I would wake up and be like, oh yeah, like wake up super stressed because I went to bed stressed out because I was watching these shows. We really absorb what is happening. And I love that you brought up the point. You don't even need to be watching it. You just need to be listening to it. Because again, our body just wants to keep us safe, right? So it's not going to tell you prioritize sleep if it thinks that, you know, you're in danger. Like you need to be alert. If something happens, that cortisol needs to shoot up so that it can mobilize all those other systems in the body to either help you fight, flight, or freeze or hide, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You, the vivid dreams. Oh my goodness. And one of the things I noticed, so it wasn't like I figured it out just like that, but I would, you know, one of the things that I was trying to do was spend more time with my husband in the evening. So it's like, okay, my little hobbies or whatever can travel, right? I can go into the living room or wherever he is and sit next to him while he's watching TV. Now, consciously, I'm not paying attention, but my subconscious is hearing everything, right? So that's when I thought about I need to block it out.
Smart, very intuitive. Yeah, very, very smart. Yeah. I'm actually curious. Did you wear the ring last night after the breath work?
Let's see.
It'd be great to see what happened even during and after. Okay. So yes, we did the breathwork session last night and Tamika participated in it. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Now, I know your feedback was that it might have been some of the techniques might have been, yeah, you were working at them. Exactly. So maybe that caused a little bit of stress, but let's see even your HRV to see.
Wow. Okay. So we started at 6.
Yeah.
Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been in the restored section. I don't know how long. Like I evade that section. Like I'll get into the relaxed, but restored. And during our session, I was restored 3 times.
Wow.
And the rest of the time it was just relaxed. Now something happened at 8:30 that caused stress.
I think it's when you spoke, when you shared.
Oh no, we were
I see. Okay, so we were
at 8:30.
Yes, you're right. Oh, okay. Yes.
And I don't remember. And maybe we have a puppy. Maybe he did something, and I had to, you know, I had to correct his behavior. Yeah. But yeah, I was in restored and relaxed the entire time. And when I spoke, I was restored.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm just delighted that, yeah, you can have data that backs up the science, backs up the amazing transformative power to reset and recharge through a breath.
I mean, I was in Hawaii for a week.
Yeah.
Not once was I restored.
Wow. Even not under that blue sky and the sun, right? And vitamin D and C and
wow. Okay, yeah. Rita. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to do we got some things to do.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So speaking of being in Hawaii, if you had a full day to yourself, Tamika, with no responsibilities, how would you spend it?
Well, now since I have some data, I would have to do some work.
Wow. Yeah. Seriously, this was not planned at all. There's not a plug-in for my business or breath work. Like that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, seriously. Because I was trying to think what would I have done if I didn't know about the breath work? I would probably do, you know, the dogs, hang out with my dogs and build some sort of Lego set. But you know, the building of the Lego sets causes stress for me because this is all self-imposed. Okay. Because I don't savor the moment. I'm always trying to beat the time that it took me to build the one before that. Yeah. So I'm trying to go as fast as I can.
That competitive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I consciously have to say, Tamika, enjoy yourself. You do not have to do a 1,500 piece Lego set today. this afternoon. No, you can spend the week doing it a little bit here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, if I didn't know about breath work, I would have said building Legos and cuddling with my dogs.
Okay. And now that you know about breath work, would you start your day with breath work?
Yeah. No, seriously. This is going to be part of the routine moving forward.
Beautiful. Well, very happy that I was part of that journey for you.
I can't just stop looking at that.
You need to send me that screenshot, by the way. That'll be a cool case study, actually. Yeah, we can definitely work with that. So what is one rule you've joyfully broken on your way to where you are now? Yeah.
So this rule was something I learned from that one female sponsor that I had. Whenever I take time off and I come back and I've got hundreds, when I was in tax, I would have thousands of emails, like a couple of thousand emails.
Wow. Crazy.
Delete them. Delete every single email that came in while you were gone.
Wow. Because then if it's really important, they'll email you back.
That was her reason. That was her reason. And it was true. You don't have to, because most of the emails, actually, you're probably just CC'd.
Yeah, true.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's not your fault that people don't understand email etiquette. If it's truly something for you to action or, respond to, you should be in the to, not copied.
Right.
Copy is just an FYI for people. They don't really need to read it. But if you're in the to, then, okay, I need to spend my time doing that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, you still do that?
Delete.
You still do that today?
Well, not today because my business is new.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to stay abreast of what's going on. Okay. I like that.
Yes, I played catch up yesterday.
Yes. So what's from your experience, what's a piece of advice you'd give to a high-performing woman about how to cultivate resilience? So you've definitely done that through your own pivotal moments. But yeah, especially during, these times of uncertainty or challenges. What would you say to her?
Listen to your body. Listen to your body because your body will sit you down real quick. Like you could just, I don't wish it on anyone to have a heart attack, but I'm saying if you're feeling palpitations or something's not right, you have to ask for help. Go to urgent care, go see, your primary care physician, whomever, but act on it. Because if you don't, the next step could be a heart attack.
Don't wait for that to happen. I love that, Tamika. Yeah. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. And there's this really famous book that your body keeps a score.
Yes, I've heard about that book. Yeah.
So all those emotional blockages just stuck in our bodies. And that's why we feel dis-ease and we feel illness and aches and stuff. So it's really understanding and being aware of these, that it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal part of aging, all of these myths that we keep hearing, right? No, there's signs and symptoms.
Well, the one thing I will say, everything is not gas. Okay. Most people say there's some kind of discomfort. It must be gas or indigestion, right?
Yeah. But that's also that's also a sign that things, whatever you ate, that you don't have enough stomach acid, right? That's breaking down that food, that's giving you that reflex or whatever it is. So yeah, that's also, everything is.
I remember like my grandmother, that's just gas. Well, actually it's not.
Exactly.
Something that's causing the gas.
Exactly. There's a root cause to everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your legacy, Tamika? What do you want to leave behind for this next generation of women leaders?
I'd like to be the light for the next generation of leaders and to impart upon them that it is okay to feel joy when and wherever you are.
Thriving is the new hustle, you don't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, talking about being an ER doctor, one person's emergency is not yours.
Mm.
So you have to be able to block if things come through. I was like, nope, I'm feeling joy. Nope, I'm still good.
Yeah. It's part of life, right? Yeah, it's part of life, learning how to navigate this.
As my therapist says, we have a plate and our job is to keep things off the plate. And that's the only way to really feel that joy.
Yes, and not overwhelmed. Love it. Thank you. So if you could have lunch with any woman, past or present, who would you be invited and why? Why this woman?
I would have lunch with that female sponsor because I haven't talked to her in years, and I owe her so much. The wisdom that she imparted on me, the tips, deleting emails, vouching for me, all of those things mean the world to me and have attributed to the wonderful life that I believe I have. And I think that the relationship that we had, if I didn't have it, my life would be a little different.
What's her name?
Deborah Von Stork.
Deborah, shout out to the amazing Deborah. Thank you for being such a beautiful inspiration to Tamika and now anyone listening and watching this. So thank you. We need more women like that for sure. Really empowering and supporting. So
she's a rock star. She may not know that she was my sponsor, but
yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Yeah. Sometimes it's true that we self-elect them.
Yeah. I've done that. Like they say, have your personal board of directors. And I definitely say she sat at the head of the table for quite some time.
Yes, I say reach out to her today. Yeah. Put it as a what is it? Pink? No, right? Yeah, pink is yours. The when you write it in your calendar, what color code is it?
Pink.
See, I'm getting it. I was listening.
Yes. Yes.
So what's a book, quote, or mantra that has profoundly impacted your life, would you say?
I would say, and this is probably cliche but the Bible.
No.
I definitely use it as a source of energy and strength because I don't know, I find myself, if I say a prayer before certain things or just before anything, that whatever happens next turns out better than I expected. Every time. Every single time. So, and even, I know this sounds corny, but I've had to have an MRI, and I hate the noise because it's just so loud, and I'm not claustrophobic, but it makes me claustrophobic.
Yes, I agree. I mean, all of this, and I'm like, we're still going into this machine that's like, I feel like it's from 1930s. Like, come on, General Electric, you could do better. I agree. And
I just said that last time that I had to do it, I just said the Lord's Prayer the entire time I was in there. Not once did I have a palpitation. Not once did I get nervous. It was actually relaxing for me. So that's how I would say the Bible grounds me and helps me.
Did you know really fun fact about prayers? So it is in a very famous book. It's called Just Breathe by James Nestor. So he did some research on breathing and the art. He called it actually the lost art of like an actual science, which is breath work. And what he found, it wasn't really him. I think he just sort of brought up some of this research as well and just put it into a beautiful modern day book. A lot of the prayers and the songs that we sing in like Catholicism or Christianity, the different religions, Hindu, they all are super calming, right? The prayer, they all have this 5.5 or like 6 count in and 6 counts out. So you are basically regulating your breathing rate. So again, if I go back to the science, telling that parasympathetic nervous system, you're okay. You're calm, you're cool, you're collected, you're safe. And that's why you didn't have the palpitations, because you were on the parasympathetic, or you were engaging, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
So cool. Yes. As you're saying the prayer. Yeah.
It was so scientific.
Well, your aura ring is indicating that, but yeah, exactly. Isn't it so cool? I'm like,
Wow.
how do you know to do that? So I don't know if it's, yeah, I'm always super amazed of how like our ancestors knew all of this stuff without any of the science. But I think they were so in tune with their intuition because they didn't have the garbage food, the toxicity in the environment, the toxic relationships. Like I feel like they were a lot more in tune with their intuition and because we all have this innately in us. It just gets kind of not used as much, and it's a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I love it. Beautiful. Cool. Thank you. So what would be a piece of advice you'd give your younger self if there is a certain part of you that you kind of want to go back to?
Younger Tamika, I would tell her to do it anyway. Whatever it is. Because we second guess things, and when we second guess, it doesn't normally turn out the way it should. At least from my experience. So if your gut or intuition is to do X, do it.
Yeah.
Don't think about, well, what if such and such or this person? No, it's all about you. Do it anyway for you.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the thing. So early on in our lives, I feel like we are taught to worry about other people's feelings, perception, all these things, and it clouds us and it hinders us in our personal growth. And so if I would have known that, then I just think, the things that, I don't know, the things I could have done, I can still do them because I'm aware of it now, but would just be even more incredible.
Yes, I agree. And it's action that is the really driving force, or the opposite of fear. Because then if you're fearful and you take action, fear goes away. And then the universe, God, will conspire to make that happen because you've taken that action. So I love that. I love it. Do it anyway. Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So looking back at your journey, you've accomplished so much. You've overcome so much. I'm curious if there are any feelings of longing in any area of your life. Is there anything that you may be longing for?
Sometimes I feel like I long for connections with people. Like more friendships, like deep friendships. But then at the same time, I'm like, how do you manage all of those? Like, there's not enough time in the day. There's some people really need that day-to-day touch point. Some people are weekly, some people are monthly. But my deepest friendships know that I've got their back, even if we hadn't talked for a year. When we do talk, it is an 8-hour marathon, and we just pick up where we left off, exactly where we left off. There's never any ill feeling like, how come you didn't call me? Or how come I knew you were doing life? Or, I don't have children, but I have friends who have children in different, phases of their life, whether they're newborns, and then you've got those who are, their kids are seniors in high school. And I know for those who have seniors in high school, you know what? I'm gonna let them do their thing, because I know just from my own experience graduating high school that is a very busy year. You've got all these things to go to, and your parents are trying to be at everything. So I want you to have those memories with your child. I don't want to be the reason why you couldn't go to the National Junior Honor Society induction or or be there for them to prepare for some trip or some thing, right? I don't want to get in that way. That's your special time, and I respect it.
Yeah. So I it's sort of this quote came to mind that there are people that come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So kind of just embracing that as well. And like you, there is something about friendships that you've known since, you were 3 or 5. And I actually don't have that because I moved from Italy to Canada. So, I lost those early childhood friendships.
Yeah.
And then growing up, being an immigrant, not speaking the language, I didn't really make friends right away. But now I have friends that I've actually, I have from my master's program. And yeah, I'm really nurturing those. But, do I long for a friendship that is even more like years than that? And then I was like, oh, but I got my sister, I got my brother, so those are the ones that I look at. But in terms of like the follow up to this question is what's that one step? Like maybe, and you don't have to answer this. This is more sort of for you to ponder after the podcast is, can you do something very little to kind of get you closer to that? Maybe, reach out to someone you haven't reached out in a while and to sort of close that gap if there is something that's there to explore further, because it did come up for you today.
I have thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about, reaching out to people, but then, like you said, with that quote,
yeah, exactly.
Some people are in your life for a reason, a season, and there is a reason why that chapter closed.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And my elders in my family have always expressed that you don't go backwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
So, mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. We're going to go into some fun rapid fire questions. So, yeah. Oh no, it's fun. It's fun. So let's not overthink it. Just kind of go with the flow. What comes to mind first. So here we go. One word to describe you as a leader.
Calming.
Nice. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Coffee, tea, or something else?
Something else, and that something else is a protein. And this is a combination of a protein drink and an espresso shot.
Okay, nice. Okay, I want the recipe for that one. Mountains or ocean?
Ocean.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Favorite way to celebrate a win, big or small?
A hug.
What's your go-to feel-good movie for a cozy day with chocolate and fuzzy socks?
Made in Manhattan with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that in so long. I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
If you could instantly master one skill, Tamika, a new skill, just like that, what would it be?
Languages. I really would love to be what do you call it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Which language?
At least with the most common, I would say I want to know Spanish. I mean, I kind of know Spanish. I don't use it, but Spanish, Portuguese, Mandarin, and Hindu.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Because then I can talk to everybody.
Exactly. Oh, you forgot Italian in there, but it's okay.
Well, I think
you can get away with it.
Well, my husband's Italian.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. So you can get the lessons from him. Yes.
Well, then, but I feel like Spanish and Italian, there's similarities.
Yes, that's how I get away with it. I just speak Italian. 80% of the time it works. The other 20, they're like, what are you talking about? So I actually said, so here's a funny story. Burro in Italian is butter. Burro in Spanish is donkey. So here I am at a restaurant thinking I can speak Spanish. I'm like, can I have un poquito de burro? And I'm like, in the whole, and he's just like, what? You want donkey? You want it on your bread? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's that 20% of the time that it does not go well. And it's actually mantequilla, which is totally different from burro, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, good to know.
But now I'm sure with AI and stuff, you can totally pick up these languages a lot easier. So yeah, go for it. So what does success mean to you at this stage of your life and career? Use one word.
Soft. And have you seen all the things about the soft era? Like I'm in my soft era. Like I enjoy peace and like people always say, what are you doing? Are you going to go out this weekend? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm enjoying my mortgage. Okay. I love my home. I have set it up in a way that I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So soft.
Like,
no stress is basically what it is.
Yes. So if you could gift every woman listening or watching this one thing, tangible or not, what would it be?
Optimal health.
Yeah.
Whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, optimal health.
Thank you.
But just think if we were in the state of health that we were meant to be in, just think of what we would accomplish.
Yeah. Yes. And supporting your body through that. Yes. Yeah, I love that. The nutritionist in me is like, yes. It's so true. Or the holistic wellness coach. Yes, exactly. I love it. Well, thank you, Tamika. This has been such a pleasure to speak to someone with such beauty, light, softness. I just loved those golden nuggets that you shared, and you're truly walking the talk. You're helping every woman listening to this or watching this to like really embrace their challenges and shine better and really learn from them as well. So I loved the reflection that we did on your journey and how you can impart some of those learning lessons to others. And that's the whole point of this conversation. So I am so grateful. My heart is full for the time and the space that you made for this community. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I so appreciate you. I'm so happy our paths crossed.
Likewise. I mean, I'm so honored and appreciative that, we found each other and that you reached out, and even if it just helps one person, I'm happy.
Exactly.
So thank you. Thank you so much.
And I just want to end with your favorite song. I mean, I'm not going to sing it and I wish I could play it, but actually if I do, then YouTube is going to probably there's some copyright issues there. So I loved Ain't Nobody Stopping My Shine. And I think it's so appropriate. Right? No, we got to focus on our breakthroughs because we're all deserving of them, and just keep shining.
Yes.
And anyone that gets in the way and is toxic, change that pivot, change that direction, and don't let anyone stop you from shining bright, because we all deserve it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Uplift Her Leadership Series, a special segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast. If this conversation lit something up in you, please share it with a fellow change maker, and let's keep building a new model of leadership together. Follow me on ritasavoia.com and stay connected for more conversations that blend well-being, wisdom, and bold feminine leadership. Until next time, breathe mindfully, live intentionally, thrive gracefully, and remember, self-care is your superpower. Ciao for now.